What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks back with our daily Tesla update video where we take a look at how Tesla stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Tesla stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. So a small red day for Tesla. We're down about $5 today, down another $2.41 in the after hours. So not too bad of a day. If we take a look at all the indexes, right? NASDAQ was up slightly, 0.5%. Dow was pretty much flat, up 0.03%, and S&P was pretty flat as well, up only 0.09%. So compared to that, Tesla was a little bit on the weak side, but we'll take a look at why. I'm not necessarily worried about that based on kind of what we've talked about in the previous couple of videos on what we see developing with the stock, right? So let's take a look at how it traded today. Not a crazy amount of action, but if we take a look, in the pre-market, we were in the 855s, and kind of right out of the gate, we pushed down to test this 847s level, and then we were bouncing around it for a little bit before we kind of went down to 841. Came up, broke above this level, 853s, and then we broke below this level, and then we were pretty much kind of hitting up against this level a couple times, but didn't quite have the strength to break through, which again is totally fine because of what we're about to see, right? So relatively weak day for Tesla, but nothing to be too worried about because of what we have coming here. So you guys know Tesla has had a massive run, right, from the 400s to kind of 600s after the S&P inclusion was announced. Then after being included in the S&P 500, we saw it run up into the 800s from the 600s. And now what we see is this kind of wedge pattern happening, right? So yesterday when we took a look, we talked about, hey, we could see it kind of going down a little bit, going sideways a little bit, for this pattern to be valid. And that's exactly what happened today. So this pattern is still very, very valid. As you guys could see here, right? The candle was hitting up against the top of this line. So essentially it's trading in a much narrower range, which is called a wedge, and it starts to get narrower and narrower until it gets to a point where, it doesn't have anywhere to go, usually leading to a breakout. Now, that breakout does not have to be up, but typically it will be upward for a strong stock. So that's what we see here, right? That's what I have this bottom line here for. That's what I have this top line here for. If we take a look at yesterday's candle and today's candle, that's exactly, we got a little bit of confirmation, right? We didn't break above it or anything, so that's good news. So moving into the future, what do I see Tesla stock doing? Let's cover kind of the upside and then kind of the downside, right? So on the upside, let me kind of extend this line out for us. On the upside, right, what we have is this line right here, after this 844 level, right? Or excuse me, this 847 level, which is kind of the level that we saw it trying to go above, break below, and that's where it kind of hung out for most of today. That's that 847 level. So that's the first level I'm watching on the upside. Remember that we're in the 842s in the after hours, right? So 847 is the first level. Then technically 861 is our next level after 847. But if we take a look at this line that's coming down, for this pattern to continue being valid, we need to get rejected by it in the 850s. So I'm looking at 854. So first of all, I'm looking at 847, then I'm looking at 854 kind of to make sure that we stay in this level. If we break above it for whatever reason, if we start to break out, then I think 861 is the next level that I'm watching, which sets us up really nicely for this all-time high in the 884s. On the downside, what we have is a couple things. So let me extend this line too. First things first being kind of this line right here in the 830s. Again, hoping for a bounce off of this line if we do go down to it. But if that doesn't hold in the 830s, then I'm watching that 829 line. So again, this wedge pattern is looking really nice, hoping for, tomorrow to either be a little bit more of a consolidation in this range right here. And then we hopefully see a breakout sometime next week. Let me cover my EMAs real quick. Let me get rid of the drawings, and I'll kind of talk about that, right? So the A EMA comes in right at 832, and that's a level that I'm making sure we kind of close above, right? Because if you take a look at this whole run that it's had since mid-November, we've only closed below the A EMA once. that day right there. Other than that, we've always closed above the 8 EMA. So hoping for that to continue. That 8 EMA is at 832. And then the 21 EMA is behind that at 772, right? So that's what I'm looking at. And then if I take a look at the moving averages on the 4-hour chart, right, what we see is we're pretty much, you know, riding that 50 moving average, and even the 20 moving average here, finding support at the 20 moving average, and then in the after hours we're dropping to the 50. So we'll see if that 50 holds or not. And then the last thing that I look at, I'm trying to go through this pretty fast because I know we covered it yesterday as well, but I am going to bring my Tastyworks for us here, and we can maybe take a look at and see what we see here. Yeah, so the 15 EMA at, let's see what that's at. That's kind of in the 845s, making sure we stay above that. Right now we're at 844.99, so making sure that we you know, stay above that, because if the last time we didn't, we dropped all the way to the 180-day SMA, which right now is at 698. Not necessarily saying that, you know, if we don't capture the 15 EMA that we fall to the 180-day SMA, but you know, if previous history is any indication, right, we did drop back in, I think, a couple months ago. So if that happens again, if we don't, or if we break below the 15 EMA, right, we have broken below it, but caught up to it, broke below it, caught up, right, and then we had this run, so obviously we were above it. But if we break below it and we have no kind of indication of catching up to it, or if we see that getting you know, rejected, then that could be a little worrisome. So I'm monitoring that as well. So yeah, hoping for this wedge pattern to continue, like I've shared with you guys a couple times now, and hopefully we see a little bit of a breakout. Now remember, earnings are next week, so depending on how the stock trades in the next couple of days, you know, maybe we get a massive push, run into earnings, or you know, we see a little bit of a sell the news depending on kind of what we see with earnings. But hopefully we see a little bit of push into earnings depending on when this breakout happens. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out as I'm trying to grow the channel. Comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.